Jordanian women and Arab women, maybe they are struggling with some issues in our society, but Jordanian women are not uh, uh, acting as victims, although they might be victims. And this is very something that was very important for me to show that Nawal is someone who's struggling with her life, with her daily issues, but she's trying to find a solution, and she's not like surrendering for 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 what's happening to her, and that was very important thing to show.
Yeah, I completely agree. Especially when like you were showing us a character that Nawal was acting like she. So in the movie, she loses her husband, and then she gets into an inheritance claims issue with her brother-in-law. And although sometimes the Arab culture can show that, family is a unit and families are all tied together,
Hmm.
there can be some families which aren't exactly like that. Like they say, we're family, we take care of each other, but then they abuse that term and they take advantage of it, which is clearly shown and
Actually,
also in the movie.
it's very interesting what you're saying, and this is something that I'm still exploring. It's something that I highlighted in Inshallah Boy, and hopefully I will keep digging and challenging this concept, how our relationship with uh, inside the family, because we claim that we have strong bonds. We claim that we are different than Western societies, for example, that we
Hmm.
know each other very well and we support each other very well. But is it supporting or suffocating? Is it so? Yeah, these things that is the type of topics that I would like to explore more in the next films that I'm doing, hopefully, inshallah.
Amjad, inshallah, me
Mm.
and Said in the beginning of the movie, we were like, found ourselves laughing quite a bit, especially at let's say, some of the cringe situations with family members. And me and Said were like, oh, I can totally relate to this. And in the beginning, it was a bit humorous. And then, it got more intense as it kept going. But did you, like, purposefully try to make it a bit, let's say, funnier in the beginning before you got in?
Well, it's interesting what you were saying, because at first, the first draft I wrote for the film was a dark comedy,
Mm.
because for me these
Oh,
laws are absurd.
They're
So
absurd.
I was, yeah, and these situations are absurd for me. So I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to deal with the topic with absurdity, and to show it in a dark comedy tone.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I pitched the idea again for my producer Rula, she told me like, we need to work on the tone to make it more realistic, and she had some suggestions, and I like these suggestions because I was
Mm-hmm.
not happy with the dark comedy tone.
Mm-hmm.
So these moments that you were saying that it made you laugh, it's from the dark comedy origin that I started with.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, yes, it started there
Because
because
it's so absurd.
again,
Like you
it's
said.
yes, yes.
Um
the fact that you guys say that like it's coming from the dark comedy part, but for me, I see this as just like normal normal day-to-day life. Now it's making me think is like, well, have I just been living in a dark comedy with my family for
yep.
for
Exactly.
20 years?
Exactly, exactly. When you think about it, you feel like, okay, yeah, it is absurd what we're living in.
uh,
Yeah,
Amjad,
that just highlights like, okay, this is a bit absurd.
I wanted to
Sorry,
ask
Ali,
you
you were saying.
about your research into the film because you're a man and this film has a lot of women in it and it's very intimate about women's lives and the details and it's such a brilliant film that really depicts women you know as 3D characters.
Mm.
So How did you do that, especially in like a society, where these things are a bit taboo? Um,
Well, yes, it is taboo, but I think we treated the subject in a way that respect the culture, respect the Jordanian culture, the Arab culture, our traditions. I mean, we didn't cross lines in
mhm,
general. It's just that the thing itself, I felt like we need to talk about that. It's something that. I see it, I witnessed it, and I felt like it's it's also personal. So uh, the whole story was inspired by someone I know very well who was almost in the same situation, like my main character Nawal. And at that moment, many questions came to my head, and I start thinking, what if this woman says no to all of these rules, laws, and traditions? Is it possible for a woman to say no? And from there, the ideas start to came, and these questions fuel the idea of Inshallah Ibu. To have the 3D character, it's, to be honest, through the writing and through
mhm,
research, and as someone who lived in a family full of women,
mhm,
since I was a kid, I used to hear and listen quietly as a kid for the stories of women around me struggling mainly with the male figures in their lives.
Mm.
Uh, so it stayed in my head, and of course, the input of Roland Nasser, who is the producer, the main producer of the film, and the co-writer, and also Delphine Agut, who were two females who helped me a lot to make these characters also real, with depth
mhm.
and with authenticity.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like a collaborative process. You guys worked on it
Of
together.
course,
Yeah.
of course, of course. Writing is a huge process. It took us almost 4 years to develop this story.
Wow.
To Actually, the last draft that we shot was a draft that I wrote maybe 10 days before the pre-production. So writing is something that stays till the end.
Yeah.
Wow.
And and obviously with each draft, there's different ideas being shared, and maybe you look at one idea and you think that's a great one, but then you find something else that also you want to add. How do you choose which ideas like, look, this is the one I want to stick to? How do you focus onto and latch onto one idea?
Well, you are asking a very tricky question because I'm, I'm working on my next film, so I'm in that process where I'm choosing which idea works best for the new story,
hmm
and
Mm.
which is a, a better choice, because at the end of the day, it's about choices that the filmmaker or are you okay, Saeed?
we killed Said. صح في صح.
صح. خد نفس.
Okay, that was a bit that was out of nowhere. Sorry, I had an ice cube in my drink,
Oh,
and it went in my throat.
oh my God, it was big.
By the way, it's not. By the way, when I say drink, it's literally just Pepsi Max.
Okay.
Like I'm not,
To clarify.
I'm not drinking on the job. Okay. Anyway,
So yeah,
discussing the
about
ideas and
choice.
how to focus on one.
Yeah, so it's all about Ali. Okay, guys. You ready?
We're fine. We can keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was saying about the choices of what was the question? Sorry, I
Mm.
forgot.
Um, so I was asking you, obviously with each draft, there's different ideas being shared around
Ah, yeah.
and being added.
So,
So how do you
so,
focus on one?
so as I was saying that it's a tricky question because I'm in the middle of making choices for the new film that I'm developing right now, and
Mhm.
usually uh, it's hard to say that you're doing the right choice, to be honest, or you're making the right choice. But there is always a kind of indication. It's an intuition, first of all, something that you relate to, something you feel it's the right thing that the character will do.
Mm,
Uh, Plus, these choices sometimes it needs to be you need to take in consideration also how this choice will serve the story thematically, for example, or how it will
mm-hmm,
push the story forward. So it depends. Actually, it's the toughest thing because at the end of the day, my job as a writer or as a director to to take these choices, to make these choices, and to make them believable and to make them relatable.
Mhm.
Uh, and I feel like this is the risk that we're taking while we're doing such uh, artwork, cinema. Cinema is, I think, it's all about choices.
mm.
For sure. And
Wow.
obviously with such a great cast in the movie as well, you have to make the right choice when you're choosing
Exactly. Yeah,
who to represent these roles. Because the
definitely.
character of Nawal is a very strong woman, and you also had an image of how how she wants to come out. So how did you know that Mana would be a good choice?
Well, for the cast, for example, it also took me so much time, like almost 2 years
Wow.
to have this. I like to call it bouquet of actors,
Hmm.
that work together. Also, not only one actor. No, they need to have somehow. You need to see them as all as one unit
Mm,
working and serving the
Hmm.
story that you're trying to present in this movie. And for Muna specifically, I saw a previous work for Muna, and I felt like usually I don't do that. I don't cast with features, but her features was very close to the character I'm trying to paint with the writing.
Hmm.
So that was the first thing that grabbed my attention. That she she looks like Nawal, which is something again I don't usually do, or I don't advise filmmakers to do, because sometimes the looks might be perfect, but
It can
the
be
talent,
deceiving.
yeah. So then after that, I had a connection with Muna, and because I'm living in Amman, she's living in Palestine, so we had to
Hmm.
do it through Zoom. And we had different sessions where we were talking about the story, about the script, and also we were talking about general stuff. For all the actors, I needed to know uh, them as human beings, not only as talents.
mm,
Uh, 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 I needed to understand their body language, for example, how they look, how they stand, how they walk. Uh, um, I needed to understand their tone of voice, how many tones of voices they have. So I do like a lot of uh, observation
Hmm.
while working with them before choosing the actors if they if
Sounds
they
like you did
fit
a
the
lot of
role.
in-depth analysis on each individual.
Yes, yes, because I love actors and I love working with actors, and I think it's something that I enjoy it a lot, and I, mm, I also understand acting. So for me to be able to take the right emotion at the right moment during the rehearsals, during the shooting, I needed to understand the actors on different levels, the human level
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
the talent level, and to see the variety of reactions that they can give me for the certain moment. So the casting itself, it took so much time for me to make sure that all these actors that I'm choosing for the roles are the best for uh, for the characters that I lived with for years.
Yeah. And it's an intimate experience, obviously, spending all this time with them over all these years.
Yes,
And
yeah.
so what are like maybe three things that you look into these individual cast members so that you can bring them onto your team? Like, what are three things that you can highlight as like, okay, this is a green flag, they should be on my team, and they can follow the vision, of course.
So I'm not sure I got the question. Can you repeat the
Okay,
question?
of course. So, what are like three traits, maybe, if it's
Mm.
a characteristic within these individuals that you brought onto the movie to work with you, from writers to actors? What are three things that you look for in people so that you know you can work with them?
First of all, passion.
Hmm.
They need to be passionate about what they're doing. Everybody on set, from crew to cast, were a storyteller in their own spot and in their own department. People who care about telling this story, who understand the story very well, and they feel passionate and the importance of telling such a story. That was something very important for me.
Hmm.
So somehow uh, the crew, in Jordan we are a small industry, so we all know each other. So when there is a Jordanian project, you find people are so passionate to work on it and
Hmm.
to do their best to do it. So
Yeah.
I already have this, but also I needed some people to to be aligned with what the story is trying to say,
Hmm.
to believe in what what we I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So to believe in what they are, what we were trying to achieve through this film. Third thing, so we said passion, believe, and three. It should be three. I don't know.
It's a
I
magic
don't know.
number.
Exactly. Third thing. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Like between two options. Are you thinking of
Yeah.
that?
What?
I was I was asking like, so you focus on the passion and the belief, but what's the
Yeah.
struggle on the third one? What do you think would look in a person then, other than those two? Maybe it's a logical thing. Maybe it's something that is required.
Mm, I don't, dedication, definitely, but it's part of passion, no?
I think education can be linked to maybe like awareness, because when you get educated about stuff,
Not
about like
educated.
different
Not
topics.
No, no, no,
Sorry.
not dedicated. Dedication.
Ah, dedication. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
it can be
kind of
linked to. We'll take it as a
passion.
third. It's fine. We can
Yeah.
take it as a third. And let's just slide. Um,
I'm gonna ask something side really quick to Amjad
yeah,
really
of course.
quick. So the film's incredible and everything. I just I just wish there was some more like behind the scenes footage or some extra spiciness on the DVD. Yeah, but maybe on the next project. That's just a
Well,
personal
you need to,
request.
if you go to Europe, you will find a copy, the French copy. It's with behind the scenes and with an issue. Yeah, I don't
Bro,
know
I
what
just got this movie.
this
Gotta.
this is the American one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. In Europe, you will find what you want.
Is it on Blu-ray too?
Blu-ray, I think so. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I need to. I'll find it next time I'm in
Yeah,
Europe.
yeah.
My question then is, I would love to know more a bit about the behind the scenes. What's like the biggest challenge you guys faced making the movie?
I'm gonna be very cheesy with you.
Let's go for it. I love it.
That's all right. We
Uh,
like cheesy.
it was one of the best moments in my life. I don't know when people ask me this question because I got this question before, and
Hmm.
I feel like um, again I'm someone who I love my work, so I don't see the challenges as challenge, or
Hmm.
more like maybe. Uh,
Like
daily
games.
problems, yeah, like something that we need to get over it, and I know that we're gonna get over it to find a solution for it, and
Mhm.
usually it's a creative solution. Maybe the biggest challenge is not during the set. The biggest challenge was during financing. It took us like almost also
Hmm.
2 years to finance the film and to
Wow.
believe, for people to believe in the idea of the film and to pitch it. It's my
Hmm.
first feature film. So it, we had lot of pitching sessions, a lot of markets, lot of partners to convince. So that was a bit challenging. But again, I don't, now looking back at it, I don't see it as a challenge. I look at it as part of the process. And to be honest, I learned a lot. I gained a lot of experience, and I know what I'm gonna do in the next movie, for example. So I don't see it as challenges more than it's part of the process, if I can put it in that way.
I see. It's part of
Uh,
the journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a question about the financing. So every director has their own way of like finding a way to finance their projects, whether it's through fundraising or like self-funding. Um, like we've had a director who sold some of their fallopian tubes to make money for her first movie.
He
Yeah.
said
So
what?
her eggs basically for
Oh,
reproduction. And so for you also, like you saying this was the most challenging thing. What advice would you give people on how to find their like to like kind of ease them through this process, since you've gone through it and maybe a lot of people are afraid to do
uh,
it themselves.
yeah. Well, you need to be ready to be disappointed. You need to be ready that the normal thing is you don't get the fund. The unnormal thing is to get the fund.
Hmm.
You need to understand that because it's like any fund, like CNC, or I don't know, like the whole planet is applying for one fund.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, so it's okay. You need to try. You don't need to stop trying. You need to pursue your dream if you believe in it. I know it sounds like, again, cheesy advice, but it's the truth. Seriously, uh, w- I think once you feel that you need to stop, it's the moment that everything will work. It's
Mhm.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's something that you shouldn't stop trying if you believe in it. Another thing, I think, don't apply for funds unless you have a concrete idea uh, with a clear and coherent text that the fund will ask for. If they're asking for a treatment, you need to have very strong one. If you need to have a script, send a strong draft. I'm not saying that it should be ready for shooting, but something that is ready to compete, because the competition is very high. And again, if there is a no, try to find the yes. And uh, if all the doors are closed, I'm sure there is a window that will open, and you you will find a way to do the film. Yeah.
I love how subtle this film is. Just a note with you. I think you
Mhm.
talk about a lot of stuff, but you keep it, not too in your face. It's more subtle in the background. Us, we
Mm,
recognize these things and we can see it in the details. I want to
mm.
ask you about how much did the actors stick to the script versus you on set discovering things and coming up with stuff.
Yeah. So I'm someone who prepares a lot.
Mm-hmm. Can tell.
I
For
use,
six
yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah. No, no, even for the production, for the shooting, I like to prepare a lot. So during the prep phase, I uh, I think I rehearsed, I think, the whole script with all the actors. So during the rehearsals, I was open to work on some dialogues, to change some words, to make them more fluid, to make them more easier on the actors to pronounce them,
Mm-hmm.
and to feel comfortable with the words. But on set, I'm someone who stick
Mm-hmm.
to what we prepared, including cinematography, shots, camera angles, and the acting and the dialogue. Usually, I like to stick with what I have, uh, because the process itself, it, it make it easier
Mm.
to stick on what I prepared during the rehearsals and the pre-production phase.
Makes the
Totally.
process much smoother as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
I had a question about Jordan cinema. This is the first film that's made it to Cannes from Jordan, from what I understand. Why is this the
yeah.
first film, in your opinion?
Well, you need to ask Khan.
Mm. Do you think there's a bit of a discrimination
No, no, no. I don't
representation or
believe that.
something like
No,
that?
no, no, no. We are a young industry.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
We have, I think we have very good films that went to other festivals like Venice, TIFF.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it it didn't happen before that. It went to any of the films went to Cannes, but then this one made it to Cannes, which is something nice. But it does not mean that we don't have other films that are really, really good. I think we, in our industry, maybe we don't have a lot of films, but as the process is very hard, and again, the financing is very hard. So
Mm-hmm.
each filmmaker who was able to do a film, they put their full energy, their best, and actually,
Mm.
the film that the Jordanian industry produced are very good films, uh, and it went to other A festivals around the world.
I guess this is a situation where it's just quality versus quantity because obviously in Western production industries, they just produce way more movies. So
Yeah,
it's kind of hard for a smaller industry such as as in Jordan to compete
yeah,
against that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Amjad, so I do want to go a bit into the controversial topics that are brought up in the movie, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Um, so like something that I saw was um, Nawal's character. Obviously, after she's going through her grief and she's now a single woman with a daughter. One of the
Mm.
things she looks to try out is maybe seeking male attention or like going out on dating basically again and trying to be this new liberal woman. So she tries Tinder and the the scenes honestly when she was looking through Tinder, to be honest, like was was this like from an actual experience you've seen? Like this is from maybe from a friend of yours telling you about like are these some of the stories that you've heard which you're representing in the movie?
Because this is part of the research. Like at first, for me, to be honest, someone coming from Western man, I thought that it's something that it's related to my bubble in Western man, but
Mm.
apparently it's these applications are used by everyone, and this
Oh
is
wow.
part of the research that I did. That met some people from different backgrounds, and I was asking these questions. So, yeah, it's coming from the reality of the society. People here using dating apps for hookups or for meeting or for maybe finding partners.
So even in the halal world, in the Arab world, sorry, even in the Arab world, Tinder is not halal. Like it's
Is not
always,
halal. What do you mean is
yeah.
not halal?
As in, like you said, the culture around Tinder is mainly for hookups. So even in the Arab world, that's how it's used and depicted.
More
Mainly yes, but there are some cases who they are because there are different applications than only Tinder or the hookup applications, let's say.
Mm.
But yeah, there are some cases. No, um, they become a couple, they get married, or yeah, there are different stories, to be honest.
What's your opinion on dating apps in Jordan?
Well, I don't use them. So, so my opinion was in the film.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair enough. It's like we don't want them in our lives.
No, actually, I don't know. It's just like something that for some people maybe it's useful. Uh,
Mm.
I don't know. To each his own. For me, like if you want hook up through a dating app, why not? If you looking for a real relationship through an app, also, why not? It's just like it's another way for people to meet.
Yeah, that's how most
Hmm.
people are meeting in, you know,
Mm.
America. Let's say most
Okay.
people, more people are meeting on apps versus
Yeah.
not on apps.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that it would spread that way.
Which is for me, it's a bit weird because uh, these apps and all social media thing, I feel like it made us more far from each other
Mm.
than closer from each other because I'm 39 years old. When I wanted to date someone, I would go to a coffee shop or to a bar and Thursday night, and you meet people and you meet them face to face. You talk. It was different. But now, yeah, maybe people are meeting more on apps, which for me I find it bit absurd.
It can be really absurd because on these dating apps you're like yet again it's just like Western production. It's also the same in dating apps. You just have this quantity, this of options just available to you. And
Yeah,
it's not like you're getting all of them, obviously. You're just swiping and looking at all of them. It's like, I want this, I want this, I want this. And
yeah, yeah,
while in reality, you no longer know what your type is. You're just confused. You're like
yeah,
looking at every woman as it's like, oh, I might want to go out to this person. I might. You're
yeah,
just
yeah.
it's like a multiple choice exam, and which is terrible. It's very bad. It's a very bad representation of how people should meet, and it's not
Well,
natural, like you were saying.
to be honest, Said, I try my best not to be judgmental on people's
Mhm.
choices. Maybe it's not working for me and you. Again, it works for different
It
people.
worked for me. I found my partner on a dating app. So there you go.
Okay, huh,
Hey,
here you go.
I'm not judging the what's it called, the people's decisions. I'm
Yeah,
judging the app's structure,
I
the dyna
I
what
get.
it does, you know.
Yes, yes,
But
I
anyway,
agree with you.
something Amjad, just to share, as
Mm,
people get older, something I realize about them is they become less judgmental of themselves and they become more judgmental of others. But that's just because they want to release, you know. You want to become like the George Carlin self of yours and just rant on people and say, you know, fuck
yeah, yeah, yeah.
everyone, but
Uh,
at the same time, fuck you. You know, it's like it's fine. Same, it goes both
exactly.
ways, yani.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We make judgments, assessments. It's fine. People judge me, I judge them. خلاص. This
yeah,
is
yeah,
life. This is a circle of life, kind of
yeah.
thing.
Exactly. And this is what I'm trying to run away from. I'm, I'm trying not to be that person.
Nice one. No, it's true. You know, something
Oh, we can't
about
escape it.
your film showed us like the idea of family and social dynamics. In one sense, it helps, like the society, everyone coming in together to help out. It helped her
Hmm.
grieve, but at the same time, it caused her a lot of issues also. These societal expectations and what the rules that are given to her and such. And I wonder a bit about if that was something you experienced trying to become a filmmaker, as being a filmmaker is a bit, I don't know, it's not something a lot of people do.
Mm,
Were your family, were they encouraging you to become a filmmaker and such? From my experience, I'll just share a bit while you think a bit. When I tried to get into filmmaking, oh my god, tons of people were telling me that Hollywood doesn't like Arab people. They don't want Arab
oh,
people to make films, or
okay.
there's just all these things that you're never gonna make money, you're never gonna succeed, blah blah blah, and stuff like that. And so, what do you? Did you hear that a lot?
Well, to be honest, my family were very supportive, shockingly.
How nice.
Yeah.
I, Ali didn't go through this.
Your name is Ali. Who's gonna hire Ali to be in Hollywood?
Yeah, and to be honest, like it was a dream that again, another cheesy moment. It's a dream that I had since I was 10, 11 years old. Like, when parents ask their children what you want to be when you are grown up.
Yeah.
Um, and my mother asked me once, and I told her I want to be a director. At that moment, I didn't understand what directors mean. I didn't know but
Hmm.
I knew that I want to tell stories. Maybe because I felt like if I will tell a story for people around me, they will not listen to me, and this is a way for me to communicate what I think, to communicate uh, stuff I care about. Uh, so I felt like, yes, this is how I want to express myself through movies. And back in the 90s, we on TV, we used to have like all the black and white Egyptian movies, all and some American movies. And with the VHS, we rent from the VHS store. I used to watch a lot of films with my brother and my sister. So it's something that grabbed my attention since I was a kid. And if you ask me how I'm here today, I I can't recall It's just like uh, like I don't know. I just followed what I liked. And my parents, especially my mother, were very supportive of my choices. They never told me like, no, you need to study this or you need to study that. They were like, maybe because I'm the youngest, so the responsibility of carrying the family's name or whatever is not on my shoulder. So they were like,
I'm the oldest, so there you go.
Yeah, me
ah,
too.
there
I'm the
you
oldest
go.
as well.
So, so maybe they were like, okay, let him do whatever he wants, or maybe who cares
Yeah,
now?
my little sister's like that. She gets the special treatment.
So it's just like something I dreamt about since I was very young. It's a passion that I followed, um, and financially, I'm able to juggle between stuff. Like while I was preparing the film, writing it, I was working in a TV station called Arab Radio and Television
Hmm.
(ART) as a promotion producer and director. So um, I was able to pay the bills, and they were very supportive. Also, for they understand that I have a dream that I want to achieve this dream, so they were very supportive, so they were giving me time to be able to do my personal work while I'm working with them. So it's just like, again, things happen. Sometimes it helps you to follow what you're seeking, I think.
Totally. And
Mhm.
how did you learn to make this movie? I mean, you're not going to learn that from working on TV. You know, it's a very completely different art form.
Yeah.
Did you go to like film school, or did you like how
Well,
did you make it happen?
I did the Masters of Fine Arts, Cinematic Arts,
Mm-hmm.
focusing on directing and editing. After I finished in 2010, I graduated in 2010. I did 3 short films
Mm-hmm.
that also went to film festivals. It got some attention. And after the third short film, I started working on my first feature film.
So
So
that
in
process.
this
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that process. And in this, if you watch the 3 short films, they are completely different from each other because I was trying to find my voice. I was trying to find how I can tell the story in my own way. So I tried different stuff and different methods until I am more sure now of how I use the tools I have. I use the techniques I know. So it took some time for me to to understand that.
Okay.
Wow.
And what made you think that this was your voice? Like, how did you make that final decision? Where, what was the, what was the thing about
Well,
the movie that told you like this is me?
it's I don't know how to tell you, but it's through the short films. I of course you reevaluate your work, so you know that
Mhm.
this is something that I like. This is something I would avoid next time.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, if I watch Inshallah Boy, there are some stuff that I would avoid. There's some stuff that I would improve.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there are some stuff that I like to challenge myself also.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel that I'm comfortable with one style, I would challenge myself and say like how I can improve it. So if there is no challenge, this is very important thing for me to feel that there is a challenge in this script or there is a challenge in this story that I'm working on. So it's an internal dialogue that you reevaluate your work and
Mhm.
you discover what you like and what you don't like. Definitely, Inshallah Boy is I did the film I want. I did the choices I want. Throughout the process, I was afraid if my choices will be appealing and relatable for the audience or not. This is something that I think about. But at the end of the day, I did the film. I felt that it reflects me and reflects my vision.
I wanted to ask before we move on, um, when you were talking about going through film school. So, would you say, in your opinion, that film school is recommended to do? Because we have had directors before that don't recommend film school. And
Well, I believe in education in general.
Hmm.
I think it's education is an important way to gain knowledge, to gain uh, like one of the classes that I benefited a lot from it was the cinema studies class. You, there are many films that I didn't know about. There were many styles I didn't know about. Uh, Not only because I was not exposed to these films, because these films also they are foreign to my culture. Like if you
Mhm.
come to Jordan, you don't find like an independent cinema theater that will screen a Korean film
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
a Finnish film, you know. So I was not aware of some type of cinemas around the world. I knew the Egyptian, I knew the Indian, and I knew the American, and some French, definitely, yes, but not other than that. So I was exposed to many cultures through this class, for example.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying that it's a must. It's not, but it's a way. It's one of the ways.
Can you tell us some of the films that inspired this one for you?
Uh, you will
Is
be very shocked.
it's okay. I don't mind being
We're
shocked.
we're used to shock. Let's go.
Shock therapy.
One of the films, I don't know if you will be shocked, I don't know actually. One of the films that visually inspired Inshallah a Boy is Rosemary's Baby for
Oh
Roman
wow.
Polanski.
Hmm.
Uh, it's that type of uh, horror
I see
realism
it. Hmm.
that make you in the shoes of the character. You see the words through her eyes, and
Yeah.
with the claustrophobic kind of
Hmm.
close-ups. So that technique I borrowed a little bit from Rosemary's Baby. I
Wow.
think it's one of the brilliant
And
films
hmm
ever made,
and the
Rosemary's Baby.
horror and the social dynamics of it all. No, it's
Yes,
yeah, I see the
yeah.
parallels. Okay, incredible. I have one more question to ask you about water in Jordan. You have a little bit of it. It's a blurb in the film. You're like, she's in the bus and they're mentioning on the news, oh, there's a water shortage. I've heard about it briefly, but do you mind sharing a bit about your experience? How does that affect your life not having water? That sounds rough. Let me drink some water.
Actually,
As you drink water.
I thought no one will ever notice this, but it's something that I worked on. Like if notice also
We noticed.
through no, because it's interesting. Like when you think that if, one of the elements that you worked on that passed and no one ever talked about, and then someone comes and tell you about it, it's very interesting because yes, in Jordan is I think now we are the first country with the shortage of water in the world.
Hmm.
Uh, and I was trying to reflect that through Nawal's character. So each time there is, she's suffocating more, she's trying to drink water and she never finishes a cup. Or
Hmm.
I was trying to reflect that the suffocation of the society because of some laws and traditions the the dynamic between each other through this water thing. So I answered your question or not?
No,
Or I,
I'm asking you personally, like, how does that affect your day to day life? Aside, I noticed it in the film and
well,
like all that, but yeah,
well,
tell us.
well, for me,
Hmm.
I'm someone who tries, who try, I try my best to save the planet on my own. So, uh, since 2 years, I stopped. I become vegetarian just
Hmm.
to stop consuming
Oh
meat.
wow.
I'm very careful with what I buy. I buy only local
Hmm.
vegetables and fruits, seasonal, and same with water. Since we were kids, like we know that we don't have a lot of water in Jordan, so we need to be very careful in the shower or while brushing our teeth. We never open a tap and not without being careful of the amount of water we're spending. So I'm
Mm.
someone who pay attention for that, but I don't know how this is related to the film.
Oh no, well, it's a little bit related to the film. Yeah, but no, great
Okay.
question. No, I'm just curious about it too because
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I
interesting.
think it's good to talk about it because obviously other cultures, especially maybe Western cultures, they don't understand this concept that
Yeah.
you have to constantly, like you're constantly stressed out about how much water you use. It's it's like when you're budgeting your finances, which is something they do, which is done a lot here.
Yeah.
In Jordan, you also have to budget your water. Like
Definitely.
that
Yes.
is not a topic or a theme that people
It's
maybe process or even
interesting.
think about, obviously, because it's never happened to them.
I wish it's the mindset of people in Jordan. Actually, I feel like nowadays people are less paying attention for that, and it
Hmm.
really annoys me. This is like now it becoming personal. It really annoys me. For example, if I go to cut my hair at the barber shop, they wash your hair, and while it takes them so much time to get like the perfect degree for the work, and it really annoys me, like how much people they don't pay attention, or they want to clean their car, so they clean it with a
Hmm.
hose. There are some small stuff that we used to do back when I was younger. People paying more attention for
Hmm.
water, and they don't do anymore. It's sad.
For the
Yeah,
Jordanian people, start budgeting your water. Like, think
yeah,
about it.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
also I
I
wish
don't know. You
everyone.
want to include this in this thing? You want to include it in the interview? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll keep it, don't worry.
I
um,
don't know.
I wish
Yeah.
everyone would have like financial education too. I just wish all the characters in your film
Mhm.
had some kind of someone to teach them about money because it just seemed like everyone was clueless and didn't know what to do about money and some things they could have found simple solutions, but I understand the education part of it is so important too.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Education is very, but it's the solution. For me, it's the beginning of a solution of many problems that our societies are facing. Education, education, and education. If we fix that, we will have, we will reach a point where we will be uh, more understanding for our problems, first of all, and from there we will be able to find a solution for it.
Amazing. To be honest, I think
Great.
that's a great way to
Yeah.
end the podcast. Um, Amjad, thank you so much for coming onto the show. For everyone who's watching, please check out the movie Inshallah a Boy.
Great film.
You can easily find it also online, and you can support by getting the DVD, like Ali, getting the Blu-ray version. Um, Amjad, where can people connect with you? Where can people reach out to maybe work with you or collaborate with you in the future?
uh, you mean like personally or
Yeah,
virtually?
this is whichever way you want, man. This is if you want to do a shout out before before we end the
Your
podcast,
next
now's the time.
project, anything, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, first of all, thank you, Ali, and thank you, Said, for this uh, beautiful interview. It's nice. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Uh, and I'm happy we had this like chill conversation and genuine one, and I hope people will enjoy it too. And yeah, as you said, they can watch the film Inshallah Boy on different platforms online, and I hope they will enjoy it. And hopefully we meet another time with another film.
Let's do it.
And thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Amjad.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you. Wow, the voice crack was insane. Please cut this out. Um,
Fix it in
Thank you for
post.
watching another episode of A to the Show. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this episode. Amjad, we salute to cover the camera. If you want, you can join us. Thank you,
Ciao.
guys, and peace.